Hi everyone, I'm Anthony. Welcome to Starlight Activation. So for this installment, it's really about one simple topic, grounding work. Now, I've done grounding work once before, but it's been probably maybe 2 months ago, and I didn't understand at the time that it really was grounding work. I was just guided to go out into nature and to walk barefoot in a spot, and I chose a spot that I do a lot of my foraging in the aquascaping channel and for my terrariums. And I had this beautiful experience that happened out there that's on one of my videos already. One of the videos I've already talked about it, and I didn't really know that I needed to keep doing it. I've been doing more research on about how we go about locking in light codes for light workers. And I know that's part of my mission. And so it's really, it's several things that you can do. It's the meditation. Part of it's listening to sometimes music, but it's being open and being receptive. It's being out in nature and do grounding work. It's really just things that you can do, whether it's mentally or physically or a combination of both. Just whatever resonates with you that works best for you, or open yourself up to information from your guides that'll give you the information you need, or the light codes. I've not done a ton of research on it yet, but I did a little bit of it today, and I had a reading that I listened to probably 4 or 5 days ago now, where Molly was talking about, and that's Crossroads meets the Ocean Rose. She was talking about, she said specifically to someone needed to go out into the botanic gardens. Well, I'm in Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth. We actually have a place here. I knew when she said it, I knew exactly what she was talking about. We have a place here that's called the Botanical Gardens, and I've gone to it many, many times, and I love it because it's just a beautiful place to go out into. And so I thought, okay, I was doing research on my aquascaping channel, and I thought, okay, well, let me just ask the question about grounding work and how to anchor or yeah, basically anchor in light codes for the light workers that are awaking. And it really just gave you so many different options of things you can do. It was really just beautiful. But one of them is grounding yourself to Mother Earth, to Gaia. And I thought, okay, here's the second opportunity that's talking about it. So we've been having rain on and off, and I looked outside, and as I'm sitting in my bedroom on my laptop, I'm looking through to the front area of this studio, and the French doors, the blinds were open, and I could see at that exact moment light rays coming through, just all of a sudden shining through. And I said, okay, I told the divine, I'm getting up right now. I'm gonna put some shoes on. We're gonna go to the park, and we're gonna do some grounding work. Okay, as I'm making the drive, I'm leaving the sunny area and I'm going to dark rain clouds. And so as I'm getting closer to my destination, I call out to the divine. I said, please, if you can just provide some sunshine while I'm out doing my groundwork. And so it's raining, and the park was closed. So it was closed for an event. And so I was like, dang it, I made the drive all the way over here. It's raining and it's closed. Okay, but today is just not the day. So it takes forever to get pulled out onto the intersection where the park is, because it's a very, very populous area of town where there's a zoo and other parks and a train and all this other kind of stuff going on, museums. So I'm waiting forever to pull back out into traffic. So I finally get back out into traffic, and then there's the rest of the park, which is across the street from it, but it's a public park that's always open. And so I thought, well, why don't I just go in there? It's just across the street from the Botanical Gardens. Yeah, it's not tailored and, you know, it's perfect at the Botanical Gardens, but it's still where I go. And there's this beautiful a duck pond there that I love to go to. So I thought, okay, I'll just go over there. Now, yes, it is still raining. So I go over to there and it's raining harder and I'm trying to find, okay, I will get a parking space. I'm just going to park. And so I go around twice, decide where I'm going to park. So I park right by the duck pond. So I'm just like a few feet off from it. And so I thought, let me Google and see if I can do my grounding work while it's raining. So I Google it and I'm just going to tell you what it says. I was really surprised. I did not know it would work like that. So my question was, can you do your spiritual grounding work if it's raining very hard? Because it was raining hard at this time out in nature. And it says, yes, you can do spiritual grounding work in nature even when it's raining. And it can be even more conductive and spiritually significant. In fact, rain can enhance the experience by providing a unique sensory environment for activities like walking barefoot on wet grass or soil, listening to the rain, or meditating under a tree. So it's a conduit. You can meditate while you're there. You use your sensory, like through touch and what you observe. In many cultures, it's beneficial to collect the rainwater and use it in other rituals. And listen, so one of the spiritual sensory beliefs is it is an enhanced conductivity for your grounding work. Now that part I found really fascinating. It offers you emotional clarity and release. Rain can be viewed as a symbol of an emotional release. Okay, that really resonated with me because you guys know I cry a lot when I'm doing my prayer meditations. There is so many times that I just start bawling for no reason whatsoever. It's not because I'm sad or something like that. It's because something is happening during a prayer meditation. And that happens to me quite common. I will uncover something during a prayer meditation and just start bawling. So I thought the part about the rain representing that, I thought that was just beautiful. And a spiritual significance. Some spiritual traditions view rain as a time for conducting with the divine or special ceremonies, adding a layer of sacredness to the experience. So, with that newfound little information, I decided, okay, I'll get my little umbrella that I keep in my car. It's one of those little small ones. I had my shoes, got my white quartz, had it in my pocket, and so I get out. I don't get very far when I realize that my umbrella is leaking. So that was one thing. So I walk all around the duck pond, and what was beautiful about it is when I would move from one section of the pond to the other, all the like mallard ducks would all get up at the same time and go into flight and move to the other side. So their wings with the rain was really a beautiful sound, and I noticed that immediately. I just picked that up immediately. I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. That's so beautiful. So I get off of the sidewalk area and I'm crossing over into another back side of the park. Now this is a very large park and I'm walking all around it. I'm not staying in one small area. I know where I want to go. There's a grassy area that I know of. It's over by a playground, and I thought that would be the perfect place. The playground especially be the perfect place because everything is kind of like this, it's not bark, it's like rubber bark that they put down at the playground, so when kids they fall off of the playground area, it's a cushion. So I thought that would be the perfect place to take my shoes and socks off. So that's what I do. I take my shoes and socks off. And surprisingly, that stuff is hard as a rock. So I was like, ouch, let's get off of this. So as soon as I got out of the playground rubber bark and stepped onto the soil and grass, it was absolutely amazing. And I walked into this particular section that I wanted to go to where it was up a little bit on an incline. So I was walking through flooded grass and then up to a little bit of a higher spot, and that's where I decided to stop and meditate. Now, I always say all the time, wonderful things happen when you meditate. This was no exception, and honest to God, this is what happened. I'm meditating and I'm talking about I'm here to do my groundwork. I'm listening to the rain. The rain is hitting the umbrella. I'm hearing the thuds. And then also the wind's coming up. I can feel the cool air of the wind. I can feel the rain coming down in its heaviness and washing away. And then I felt the earth's warmth coming up through the bottom of my feet. Like literally, the warmth of the earth was coming up through me. And it felt as if, this may sound cliche-ish, but it felt as if I had grown roots and that my feet were attached to the ground, like that my feet had embedded into, like as roots into the earth. And I could just feel this warmth radiating up through my feet. And I just stood there and I just marveled at this sensation. And I do remember one time someone saying something about, if you can envision your feet growing roots into the earth, then that's your signal that you're grounded now. You're being grounded to the earth. That's basically what it's talking about. And I thought, wow, okay, so I didn't expect that, but it happened within a minute of me standing there. So I kept standing there. I didn't really want to move because I loved it, but the rain and the wind kicked up. So it was coming from behind me. So I thought, okay, I needed to move in the direction as the rain was falling so that I could put the umbrella kind of back off me a little bit and then keep walking forward. So I, without even looking where I was walking, and I'm telling you, there's limbs everywhere. There's things I could step on that could cut my feet, damage my feet, poke my feet, bleed my feet. I didn't step on one thing. I walked all the way around that park. There's a really cool section where there's a lot of graffiti that artists come down there and paint the concrete columns that hold this elevated bridge up, this very, very old bridge. And so every side of that concrete has a different artist on it. And it's really beautiful because they change them out every once in a while. And so I was going to go over there, but it's pure dirt over there because it is under a bridge. And I'm like, no, that's just straight up mud. I'm not walking over there. I won't walk in the mud. So now I go back to the duck pond area and I'm going to have to cross over mud. I start walking into it, but the soil is so hard that it's not stirring it up. My feet aren't getting filthy. I'm still walking in water. And I'm making my way back to my car. And as I went back to the car, I thought, well, there's a section across the road where I parked where there's an embankment that goes up and it's very grassy. And I thought maybe that would be a good place to walk over there because it's all dedicated grass. And let me just see what it feels like when I walk over there. And you walk through, there's a stream that's flowing because it's rained a lot. And so I'm walking through the grassy area and I'm standing in the stream and I'm getting the sensation of how the waters of the earth are cleansing my feet now. And I could still feel grounded. I could feel rooted. I'm just going to say rooted because that's what it felt like. And as I'm walking along, this miracle happened. So I'm walking towards the direction the rain had been falling before. Remember I told you before it was on my back? Now I was walking in that direction, but the rain stopped. Clouds parted right in front of me, and there was this magnificent rainbow. And you guys know I've mentioned probably before on this channel about my aquascaping channel and the fact that I have a series of tanks called the Rainbow Series. And I was just immediately drawn to that. I was like, oh my God, here's the Rainbow Series. And I did a short prayer about please taking care of my rainbow tanks, seeing the Rainbow Series and the rainbow showing itself while I'm out there doing my spiritual grounding work. And I'm talking to Gaia. And so I'm going through all this. And I'm like, oh my God, let me see if I can get back to my car and get my camera so I can take a shot of this. And so I walk all the way back out and get to the car, come back across again, and I just was able to get the last end of the rainbow because now the clouds have definitely parted. It wasn't until I was back in my car that I realized that the divine had given me exactly what I asked for. I said, please send me some sunshine. So when I got my phone, I kept walking in this area both directions, up an incline and then down another one. And everything was glistening with water as the sun came out. And I took one other photo And it was really beautiful because you can see the water droplets everywhere, and then you can see the bright sunshine coming through the clouds. And it really to me was like a miracle. And so yes, my total sweatpants were all wet, my shoes were wet, my socks were wet, because when I was carrying them, my umbrella was too small to cover everything up. So I walked back to the car, put my shoes and everything in there, and finished my walking in the grass again because it was such a beautiful experience. And I get back into the car, and there's so much traffic now because the roads have been flooded, and so we're just sitting in traffic and sitting in traffic, and I noticed that I could still feel my feet grounded. My feet felt grounded to the floorboard of my car. It felt like my feet had roots that were embedded in the floorboard. And I thought that was such a interesting feeling that was still lingering with me right now. And I just came in to do this video right as this happened. I mean, I'm still in my wet clothes. I can still feel the grounding on my feet. It's like it's not quite a tingling feeling, but it's something you can feel that's there, that feels like it goes beyond the sole of your foot. I know I'm probably not doing it justice whatsoever, but I mean, it was a beautiful experience. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad that that it was raining, because when I was meditating, I was like just simply, saying whatever came out in my mind about the blessings and trying to ground myself so that I could do the work I need to do. And one other thing I did that I learned when I was doing the research about your grounding work is there is no specific light worker job other than being yourself and being your authentic self. That if I pray for light workers to activate, because I can tell you it's a beautiful experience on the other side versus being asleep and in the matrix. But the one thing it said, as a light worker, you lead by example. You live your life and walk in your faith. You speak your truth, and you be on your highest and your best path forward. And you're standing in your light. That's basically your job. So you're leading by example. You're giving advice when someone asks for it, but you don't push it off on people. And I thought, okay, that's what I love about this channel then. I'm explaining to you what happens to me in real time, so that at some point someone will watch this and may have a similar experience or not understanding what they're going through. Because a lot of times I don't understand what I'm going through. It's really quite interesting though, and I've said this on so many videos, what happens to me sometimes is I experience something, and then within a few hours I understand what it meant. And by that I mean maybe I have a channeled message I'm supposed to listen to, or I get something intuition-wise that comes to me, or I'll get a third eye vision, or I'll get like a message during a dream or a song lyric. And then it hones back in about what I've just done. That's the norm for me. I hope it's the normal for you guys too, that those of you who are finding these videos and are looking for maybe some other answers out there. I never claim that I'm going to know the answers, and I don't know the answers. I basically, my intuition tells me a lot of stuff, but then as you guys know, I back up everything. I always ask my questions on Google AI, and I go straight to the divine. And I believe that the divine puts AI in front of me, just like they put videos on my YouTube channel, on my channel, but videos on my YouTube feed that I need to watch. And if I see something that resonates with me, that's what I watch. If I see a Hertz music thumbnail and I read the title in it, if it's something that I know I need to, if I resonate with it, like I was specifically looking for some Hertz music that dealt with, this morning that I was doing this, that dealt with connecting to spirit, to your guides, to see whatever messages need to be uncovered in your subconscious. So I couldn't find anything that dealt with like the subconscious. Like maybe I'm missing a message just because I'm not tuned in enough. because maybe I'm not as gifted in that area as I need to be, or my skill set isn't fully activated yet. Because we go through go through levels. Like you start activating and then you level up, but then you have to do shadow work. And guys, not only do I do shadow work, I used to be scared of. Shadow work is not something to be scared of. Shadow work is something that really does benefit you, because you are on a journey to elevate to your higher self, so that you too can lead by example, that people will see in you your light, and the fact that you live in your faith and you speak your truth, and you'll be on your highest and your best path forward. So for me, I'm always looking for ways to, how can I get to the next level? What do I have to set aside? And by setting aside, it's usually something that's I need to deal with from either my childhood, a teenager, my young adult life, and apologize to that individual of my younger self that maybe I should have protected them more, maybe I should have had my eyes open up more, maybe I should have defended them better, maybe whatever it is that I've done, and to cast off those burdens and those doubts, that you're either not good enough, or you don't know enough, or you're not handsome enough, or pretty enough, or smart enough. If you've been chosen by the divine, that's it. You're not lacking anything. You've been chosen for a reason, or you've signed up for a mission. Like in my case, I've signed up for a mission because I told you guys that I resonate with being a Sirian starseed. And once I started researching starseeds, parts of my personality just, oh my God, that makes so much sense to me, why I get tunnel vision on things, especially aesthetics. My entire life I've been obsessed with the aesthetic of things, like artistically. Like I can look at a room and I know how it needs to look. I know what needs to be done to it to improve it. It's in my brain, it's in my DNA. And that's how being a remodeler, designer, has really helped me in my life, because I've been able to see things that other people can't see. And I know what needs to happen, or I know what color it needs to be, or I know where this item needs to go. It's just my second nature, but I obsess over it because I like to be a perfectionist. I want perfection. And so, we just kind of have to balance that out. But when you're looking at, there's one point I really wanted to make, and I'm not going to disclose who this is, but it's a friend of mine. And I only knew this friend through a relationship they were with. And when I first met them, I'm going to say this, and hopefully you guys will understand what I'm saying. The relationship showed on their face, as far as the unhappiness, the aged look in their appearance that didn't match their physical age. And as this person ended that relationship and was on that healing process, they met another person. And this person was more aligned for them. The next time I saw them, which was like a month later after this new relationship started, it's like they had a glow up. It's like they had an age reversal. I saw such a huge shift in their aura, in their physical appearance, in their light, in their mood was just lifted immediately. And they're just now, every time I see them now, they're just so joyous compared to when I first met them. And I'm not saying they were unhappy. I'm just saying that, sometimes if you're questioning why some relationships end and you think you're happy, but you may not know it until you wake up. And so when the divine asks you to do shadow work and to give up things that aren't in your best and your highest timeline, sometimes there's reasons that you won't know until later on. And I hope that resonates with someone because I feel inclined to bring that out during this video. So like I'll always say, if you guys have any questions or concerns, please let me know. But I hope you've enjoyed this, the fact that I did some grounding work in the rain and had a rainbow. So until either you see me up in the air as your flight attendant, yes, it could happen, or on my next video update, I'm wishing you guys nothing but light and love. And you guys have a great day. And thanks for stopping by.